We spend so much of our lives climbing ladders, right? Chasing titles, aiming for what we all call success. But what if? What if we're all climbing the wrong ladder? Today, we are going to get into a pretty profound question. What is the true goal of life? Let's dive right in.
So this really gets to the heart of it. The question is, I want to make professional success my life's goal. Can you give me some tips on defining it? And this is a question so many of us ask ourselves. It seems like a totally logical ambition, right? But what if the very foundation of that question is, well, flawed from the get-go?
All right, so here's the game plan. First, we'll look at a really common mistake. Then, we'll question if a profession is really the best way to measure a life. After that, we're going to explore a really powerful alternative idea, clear up some confusion between our tools and our goals, and then wrap up with how to actually find some peace and purpose in all this.
Okay, so let's jump right into part one. The big mistake. The most common one is thinking that our life's goal is just to land a certain job title.
Just think about it. Our goals so often become these titles, right? Doctor, engineer, scientist, CEO. We can pour decades of our lives into getting one of these labels. But here's the real kicker. The question that cuts through all that noise. Does getting that title automatically make you a good person?
So let's really put this idea under the microscope. Is a profession, is that really the right yardstick to measure a person's worth? What we're about to see are some pretty tough examples, and they're going to force us to confront this question head on.
Okay, first up, a doctor. A profession we all respect, right? They've got the skills, the title, but what if that doctor sells a patient's kidney? Can you call them a human being? Or how about an engineer, someone who literally builds the world around us? But what if they take a bribe to approve a faulty bridge or building? Is that a human being? And a scientist. Imagine a brilliant mind, someone who could cure diseases, but instead, they use that genius to create weapons of mass destruction. Still a human being? And this one really hits home. A teacher, someone we give our most precious trust to, our kids. And what if they violate that trust? It just shatters the whole idea, doesn't it?
So you see, this is the massive difference we're talking about. A profession is just what you do. It's a title, a set of skills, a way to make a living. But being a human being, well, that's about who you are. It's your character, your morality, your purpose. And that is the real measure of a person.
Okay, so if getting a title isn't the real goal, then what is? This is where we get to the core idea. It's about shifting our focus entirely to a much higher goal. The goal of becoming a truly unique and, well, an excellent human being. And there's actually a wonderful term for this, Ananya Manush. It basically means a unique or excellent person. Now, this has nothing to do with being number one in your field. Not at all. It's all about developing your special talents for a bigger purpose, to serve creation, to serve others, and in doing so, to find real, genuine contentment. And just look at what defines this kind of person. They don't have that constant frustration or dissatisfaction. They're content. They're grateful. They actually become a refuge for thousands of other people. Their joy, it comes directly from helping others. This is a totally different way of looking at success, isn't it? It has absolutely nothing to do with money or being famous.
And that brings us to a huge philosophical mistake so many of us make, both in our careers and just in life. We get the means and the end completely mixed up.
This really lays it out perfectly. Look at the proper order of things. Step 1, the true goal. That's service to creation. Step 2, the process. That's you developing your unique gifts. And step 3, the tool. That's your job, your profession. See? It's just the tool you use to get to the goal. It's not the goal itself.
Exactly. Your profession is the vehicle, it's not the destination. And here's the cool part. When you focus on that true goal, on serving others, things like money and fame, they just become byproducts. They often come naturally because you're providing so much value. The problem starts when we chase the byproducts, when we chase the tool, and completely forget why we picked it up in the first place.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But you might be thinking, how do I actually find this true goal? My mind is a chaotic mess. Well, that's what this final part is all about. It gives us a really clear path forward.
And the first step is actually incredibly simple, but so crucial. You just can't hear that quiet inner voice when your mind is like a hurricane. It's impossible. So the very first thing you have to do, before you even think about your life's goal, is to find some peace. You got to calm the storm inside your own mind.
So how do you do that?
Here's a clear path to get that clarity. First, you have to actually decide to calm your mind. Make it a priority. A super powerful tool for this, as many of you know, is regular meditation. Once you start to find that calm, it opens the door for step 3. Get involved in good deeds. Go out and help people. Because the amazing thing is, the more you focus on serving others, the quieter all your own anxieties become. And that's when your true path starts to become crystal clear. So we're going to end by turning this question right back to you. Seriously, take a moment and look at your own goals. Are you just chasing the tool, the job title, the bigger salary, the status? Or are you focused on the real reason you have that tool in your hands? Is your life's goal just about the means, or have you found your true end? Definitely something to think about.